About this.
Right? Hey, folks. Welcome to Brothers and Booze. We're so official here. And we're trying to keep everything together in the pandemic times. So, Greg, it looks like you're pouring something already, or is that just water?
I had not a rough night, but we were on that Zoom late, and I had like 4 or 5 beers.
Yeah, I've been guzzling water all day too. So I will start if that's okay with you.
Cheers.
So I'm going to do something that these are all beers I picked up today when I did the very intense grocery shopping with the mask and gloves on.
Oh, we got to talk about that.
Yeah, that was fucking intense. Anyway, so what I got here is from something from 21st Amendment. It's called 1966 Coffee IPA. I got it because I haven't had very many coffee IPAs, so I was like, oh well, let's try this. So I'm interested to see how they blend because, like I said, I haven't had a lot of them. So let me crack this open here and we'll see how it tastes.
Yes, and while you do that, we're both excited for our guests. If people seen our social media posts, my friend Stephanie I met last year at the Beer Bloggers Conference in Montana. So I'm working with the Montana Matt Brewing Company, one of my favorite Montana brewing companies. Hope they're doing well, surviving. That looks like
yeah, it's definitely got the IPA hoppiness. Not a lot of coffee smell, just very faint. So hoppy, it tastes very much like a regular IPA, but the coffee notes are all on the back end. So you get all of that on the end. It's not overpowering, but like if you like IPAs and you want something a little different, this is really, really good. Made with Pete's Coffee, which is pretty expensive stuff. So,
oh, okay. So it's pretty good. You like it?
So,
all right. Well, it's time to bring on Steph.
Let's do it.
Real quick, I'm going to be pouring and drinking HHG Pale Ale from Central Waters Brewing Company. This is absolutely one of my favorite beers, just period. It's my favorite pale ale. I love it. I had it the first time when I went to the brewery. I didn't know what the hell was going on when I got there. I was like, try the HG, and it just blew me away. It's one of those juicy, really nice, well-rounded, hoppy pales, and I love it. So anyway, let's bring stuff on.
Yeah.
Hey.
Welcome.
Hello. How you doing? So, Steph, you and I met last year at the Beer Bloggers Conference, and so I'm just going to let you explain to everybody who you are.
Okay, hi, I am Stephanie Grant. I am a bit of mix of things, but overall I'm a writer. I write for Good Beer Hunting and craftbeer.com. Mainly, I also have like a little micro blog on Instagram where I also do beer pairings. I cook and pair beer with whatever I cook for the day. And let's see. Also, I started offering copywriting services to breweries. So just really trying to get connected in the beer industry, work with people who brew really good beer. That's my thing. I love meeting brewers, meeting the people who work in the brewery, making those connections. It's been great, and with all that's going on now, it's kind of hard because you make friends with people in the industry and they're really struggling right now. So that's like top of mind every day. But yeah, that's me.
Yay. So let's start at the beginning real quick, and then Doug, you can get the follow up here. But so because Black people don't like craft beer. So so where did you find craft beer? How did it start? Where did the whole, because this came from, in my opinion, from what I know, this came from your love of craft beer. So where did that come from?
Yeah. So yeah, of course, this all started with my love of craft beer. So I actually started drinking beer purposely when I started watching football. And I didn't get into craft beer until like a few years later.
Who's your team? Who's your team? Football
Dallas
team?
Cowboys.
Uh,
I know. I knew there was going to be at least one side.
of course.
I've been a fan since they've been losers, and I'm still here. Every year gets harder, and yeah, but
cheers to that. So you started. So you started. How did craft beer come into the football?
Oh yeah, so no, I started drinking beer because of football, and then I didn't get into craft beer until by this time I was dating my husband, and we just started trying different things together. And so I remember my most memorable, I guess, beer experience when I was a newbie was when I had Allagash White for the first time. And it just changed my idea of what beer was. And I didn't realize it at the time because I thought, oh, this is my husband's hobby. But then I was like, hey, so can we go to some breweries? So hey, let's go to Hop City, which is a bottle shop in Atlanta. Let's go to Hop City and go get some more beers. And he's just like, whatever. And I was really pushing it, and I was like, okay, move over. This is my hobby, and this is my thing. We do it together, but I am much more of a fanatic about it than he is, for sure.
Doug?
Yeah, so I don't know a lot about. So I'm in the Northeast. I'm in up in upstate New York.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the craft beer scene like in Atlanta? I mean, that's something that I know nothing about, and I'd love to hear about it.
Yeah, so I believe, don't get me wrong on these states. I'll not be super specific, but we got our first brewery around early 90s. That was Atlanta Brewing Company, but they rebranded, was Red Brick for a while. Now they're Atlanta Brewing now again. And then Sweetwater came around. I don't know if they're probably our biggest brewery out of Atlanta, out of Atlanta, and then there's Creature Comforts, which is in Athens, which is hours away. You can't even count that as Atlanta. But anyway, in the 90s, those were like the only two breweries until about 2010, which I would say is around the time that I started getting into the craft scene. That's when a lot more breweries started popping up. We had like a boom here, and I believe the boom was pretty much everywhere around the country. We had a boom here, and we started getting more breweries, and it was, let's see, I would say around that time we still didn't really have many. I would say we have maybe like 4 or 5. And since let's see, we have some really crazy laws here, really restrictive. They passed a law, I want to say 3 years ago, that allowed breweries to sell on premise and to just like sell directly to consumers. And since then, our beer scene has taken off and has gotten like so much better. It's kind of hard to keep up with how many breweries are opening. So you won't usually find Atlanta on a list of like places that have great breweries, but I think we're definitely getting there. We're definitely getting there.
Wow. I've heard nothing but good. But also, what's in your glass?
Oh yeah. So I have Sasuga, I believe that's what that says. Today is Saison Day, so I try to find this camera. I try to find a Saison in my fridge, and this was in there. It's past date, but it drinks well enough for me honoring the day. And then I bought some backups. I got this Allagash triple that I've been meaning to drink for a while. And then this is, I think it's Sanguine. This is from a new brewery down here called Halfway Crooks. They have like some really, like, if you want beer that tastes like beer, they're really great at that. And they basically open and out the gate, their beer is like amazing. So they're good. I don't think they distribute at all, but
Yeah. So our girl Afro Beer Chick is
there
too.
Hey girl.
Yeah.
I'm not.
I didn't even know it was Saison Day.
Yeah, I just found that out a few hours ago, and I was like, oh, I gotta see if I have a Saison in the fridge.
Yeah.
No.
No, not Tiger King background, Doug. Ew.
I
No.
vote for the Tiger King background.
We had a Zoom real quick. So we had a Zoom meetup. We've had these Zoom meetups for the group, and we were talking about like what people were watching, and somehow somebody said this show, and I watched one episode, and I don't know if I'm going to do the second one. I'm not sure what's going on.
What? You have to.
Okay. I will then. I will.
I'm sad that we finished it last week. It was just one of those shows where you just sit there the whole time like it's just so like, are you serious? For real? Again, like it at the beginning in that first episode, I forgot which guy it was, but he's like, this story, there's just so many twists and turns in it. And I'm like, yeah, right. I don't believe it. And I was just sitting there watching it the whole time, like, what? What?
All right. So it's a must see. I gotta see it, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm
gonna skip the background though. We're gonna skip the background.
Yeah, well, I think we skipped it. So my wife started watching that last night because their brothers and sister were like, "You got to watch this," and they put it on, and I went to high school with a bunch of dudes like this. I have no need to watch this guy at all. So I was like, I'm out. She watched one episode. She's like, yeah, I don't really need to watch that either. So yeah, to each their own. Everybody's got their taste.
Yeah, I think it's a good escape considering everything that's going on right now. So
this is true. Holla for that. Yeah. Holla for that. So Steph, so when I'm a brewery and I approach you, what does that look like? What services can you offer me, and what
the
how would that process work? How does that all look like?
So I'll offer copywriting services. So if you have a newsletter you want to send out, I would help you come up with copy for that. A new website. So if you're a new brewery and you need someone to help with content on your site, I got you.
80% of them, 80%. I want to stop you right there. 80% of breweries or something, they need your help. Or 70 or something.
It might be higher, yeah.
It's pretty bad out there. You already know because you're there.
I know, and it makes me sad because so I would say I have these two sides. I'm a journalist, and then I'm also like a copywriter. And so the journalist side, where I'm going out and like researching breweries, like trying to find information out about them, trying to contact them, see what they have on their website. And it's just so disappointing. Sometimes it's just, and I get it because a lot of them don't have the funds to hire someone. And I think that's a problem. They're running off these small budgets, trying to get things out. And their specialty is the brew beers, not to write copy. That's just
true.
Yeah. So
I can think of 4 or 5 breweries that you would have saved, literally, if they would have worked with you, or you would have been able to connect. I mean, just some of the dumb that we see breweries put out there, and then have to backtrack, and some of them don't even backtrack. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Double down. Ugh.
So that's the kind of advice that they can get from you? Yeah.
I can advise them. I can do the work, just provide some direction, because I know that there's just a lot of times these people don't specialize in that. And I started going in that route because my mother, she does taxes, and she is really good at that. But her thing is, like, she can write a sentence, but she's not able to write something in order to like entice people to come into her office. That's just, everyone's not trained for that. And that's something I went to school for. And so working with her made me think I need to start offering these kinds of services to small companies. And then with my love of beer, I just put the two together.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's and I think I mentioned this probably every show, but like there's a tie-in there in that, like, for instance, if a can or a bottle has good artwork, I'm gonna get your beer because
Yes.
you, like, to me, if you invest time in that, you invest time in your beer. The same could be said for your online presence. But you're right. There's folks that just don't have the budget for it, and they're busy brewing beer. They're not worried about how do I code or make my website really intuitive, or what's the right message I want to put out. Yeah. I get it.
And it's understandable. Like I said, I come from a family where my mother is a small business owner. I get it. Like it's tough in balancing things and yeah.
I also I'm sorry, Doug, you go.
No, it's okay. I was stumbling around, so say what you need to say.
I also bet knowing the breweries that I've been around and the few that I've worked for and all that, I know that there's also a level of you having to convince them that your services are
worth the money.
And I can't say enough to them that they really need that gap, especially. I mean, now we're in a different kind of time here, but even before the pandemic, there was it was surging. It was like upwards of 7,000 breweries, and a lot of them are close.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's just hard to differentiate because you were talking about, Atlanta's beer scene, and sometimes it's just hard to figure out where to go when there's 4,000 breweries. So that's to me, getting someone like you on board is something that can help differentiate you from the one besides your beer, because everybody's making fantastic beer.
Yeah. And a lot of times people will, like, if you have several breweries in your city that make really good beer, the thing that sets you apart is like your story, the vibe that you have at your brewery. Like those are the things that set you apart, and finding ways to communicate that through your website, through your social presence, through your newsletter. Like those are the things that like make people drawn to you, make people long life fans, all of that stuff. So yeah, it's definitely important to focus on those things. And
so tell us what's in your glass right now. What are you drinking? What does it taste like? That Saison, right?
Yes, the Saison.
Let's hear about it.
You said it was a little past date, but what kind?
So I thought this was interesting. So the production time, it has production time 6 months. It was bottled in August of 2016, and it says enjoy within 3 years. I'm a year past. Someone just gave this to me, and they were like, "I'm sorry, it probably doesn't taste good. Just if you don't like it, that's fine." And I was like, "I'll take it."
You take it.
I was like, "It's fine. I'll drink it." Yeah. But it, like I said, it doesn't taste. It kind of tastes like I don't like white wine, but it reminds me of white wine, but like better than white wine. White wine to me is usually too sweet. This is very grapey.
Yeah, I mean, you can get drier whites like dry Rieslings and Pinots and things like that. But yeah, I only know that because my wife drinks wine. I don't drink wine because it's the only thing that gives me hangovers. So I stay.
Oh, really?
Especially red wine. Yeah. Hey, so if you don't mind, I'm gonna jump in and do my second one because I've been looking forward to this one since I picked it up earlier today, and I was like, I really gotta try this. So this is from Southern Tier. I don't know if you've ever had anything from Southern Tier, Steph, but this is
I've had a few things from them.
They make dessert beers like excellently. This is not it's kind of is. It's a vanilla whip milkshake IPA.
Wow.
And I am not an IPA drinker, and this is my second IPA tonight. So I'd like everybody to take notice.
Wow, you picked some really interesting IPAs today.
Yeah. So normally I don't drink IPAs. Normally I drink very heavy stouts and porters. So
well,
he's
you still have a vibe of a stout or porter with the IPA choices that you have.
Yeah, because if I'm going to drink IPAs, as Greg knows, since the show started, I've started drinking IPAs, but I generally stick to like the milkshake style or juicy IPAs. The standard IPAs are they're too hoppy for my taste buds, but so it's very
right.
Got a nice nose of hoppiness coming, but what's interesting is it's not it's a dirty glass, so I apologize, but like it kind of is. I don't know,
Ooh.
it doesn't look like super milkshakey. Usually, milkshake is like almost opaque.
Yeah.
I
Interesting.
love
yeah.
vanilla. I love vanilla beers.
But it definitely tastes like a milkshake IPA. It's very, very creamy, and yeah, that's really good. It's so what's interesting is on the can they said that they have the malts that they put in, then they dry hop it with 4 different hops, and then they say hot side edition is milk sugar, and the cold side edition is vanilla. So they have like a process and how they're doing this. That, yeah, I mean I'm generally a fan of Southern Tier. If they make something, I'm probably going to get it just because I know that I'm most likely going to like it. But it doesn't look the part of the milkshake IPA, but it certainly tastes like it. So if you're a fan of those, I would suggest having this one. This one's really good.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't look the part.
No, it's like it almost looks like more like a juicy IPA.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Okay.
Greg, I may have to ship one of these to you.
Yeah, or I gotta
Once I can ship things, because right now shipping things is a little bit crazy, so that might have to wait. And by that time, it might not be any good because it's an IPA.
Yeah.
We get Southern Tier here, so maybe my friend Garth has it. Maybe it's on deck for him.
Well, when we in our beer group, CJ said that he was drinking it tonight as well when I posted it on not the beer group, on my page, but yeah.
CJ?
Yeah.
See, it's the same one. I think he's Nebraska. So Southern Tier's getting out there.
No,
Yeah.
CJ actually lives like literally an hour from me, and we keep talking about going to breweries, and we just
that's CJ. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have the Stone Cold Steve Austin Broken Skull IPA.
Yeah, I want to know how that one is.
I only got it because it's Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah.
I don't know.
My husband's a big wrestling fan, so
yeah, dude, this might be right.
I'm sorry, wrestling. I said it wrong. he corrected me from the other room.
This one is a pale one, or here we go. Oh yeah, this is pale. I aggressively poured it. I'm hoping for Steve Austin's aggressive, right?
Yeah, true.
So hopefully his IPA is aggressive. I've heard nothing about this. Let's pull it up though. What's going on with it? I've heard nothing about it. I just thought it was cool because it was Steve Austin. I used to be a wrestling fan. I don't know, up until probably 10 years ago, I watched almost all of it all the time. With The Rock and Steve Austin. Mm-hmm. That was my time.
Feel like everyone was watching wrestling back then because I remember watching Stone Cold and him with the beer at the end of the match. Like, I mean, it was like classic. Those were good times.
This is not an aggressive IPA. This is a easy drinking IPA. This is, I don't know, I would put it closer to a more session. It's good. You can tell that there's hops there. It's really nice, but it's not like overpowering. Notes of citrus mostly. Again, I love the head retention on it.
Yeah,
loving it.
Hey, is it a potential replacement for all day IPA since we can't drink that anymore?
Oh yeah.
From the place that makes the KKKBS.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why not?
I know it's something that you were talking about before, where that particular beer was a very super drinkable, very crushable kind of beer, and I'm just wondering if that's something that's more in that vein.
This is crushable too. It really is nice in that aspect. But I did get so we had Garth from Garth's Beer Bar on last week, Steph. He's a local beer, he's a local bar owner, just started. So it was fascinating talking to him about what he's doing and how it's getting how he's working through that. So throughout that process, he's like, yeah, I got contactless pickup, and I was like, oh. So Thursday, I made me a contactless pickup. My lady swooped by. He put it in the trunk, shut the trunk. They waved, bye. Like,
Yeah.
great. But in that process, I ended up getting 3 session IPAs. Now, I just threw them all in a beer fridge. And as Doug knows, sometimes I'm not very, Doug is very, what's the word? Doug can be very structured when he, gets his beers, and sometimes he wants a theme and he gets different ones, and it's cool.
I've been trying to get out of the theme thing.
And I'm that guy that goes to the. You guys heard the pre-production. I have my music on, and I just go to the back, and I'm like, "What am I drinking? How do you think about this?" Like, Doug's all like precise, so it's like I'm chaotic, and he's on it. So I wish I would have been able to find all the sets. I bought 3 session IPAs so that I could just have them. But for the main reason, because Doug and I we're talking about trying to find an alternative to Founders because we don't drink that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least I don't. If you want to, that's cool. But for me, I can't do it.
So. I'll judge you if you do. I'll just side eye you.
And there's just to me, there's too many good, good, hardworking mom and pop, smaller than Founders that I can give, especially now.
Yep.
It's even more important to. So which leads me a great segue, which is, what is your opinion on, and I'm asking almost everybody who we have on during this pandemic, what is your opinion on how people can support those local breweries that you work for?
Yeah. So, I mean, just a lot of the breweries here, they have to-go programs. And so I've been making sure there's actually a brewery here in my neighborhood that I make sure to buy a 6-pack from them every week. It's probably not the same amount of money I was spending in the tap room, but at least I'm continuing to put my money towards. I mean, we have a beer budget, so I know I'm going to spend about the same amount of money every month. But just go straight to them. I also have a bottle shop in my neighborhood. I shop with them too, because I want them to stay in business. So if you have breweries in your neighborhood that you appreciate, you love, frequent them, see if they're still open, go buy their things. I am very much the grocery store beer buyer because it's convenient,
Mm-hmm.
But and the grocery store I go to happens to have a really good beer selection. But I think that this has changed the way I shop, because I know that the breweries are going to get more money if I buy it from them directly. And so instead of doing what the convenient thing is, I'm going to start shopping at these more, shopping directly with them. I mean, I'll go to the tap room, but usually if I want their 6-pack, then I usually get that at Kroger. But this going forward, I think I'm going to do it the way I've been doing it now, just stopping by their tap room, picking something up.
Yeah. So do they have a lot of the curbside pickup and
delivery?
Yeah, no delivery.
Yeah, but you said your state was kind of pretty.
That's too much.
So yeah,
that's way too much.
Well,
I'm in the South,
feel to that side for now.
Yeah, the South, is the Bible Belt. People are still holding on to all of this, whatever issues they have. But not that if you're religious, you have issues. Sometimes it's just uptight down here. It's very conservative, I should say. It's just very conservative.
Well, I'm in the product of a progressive state beer-wise, and we don't have delivery, so there's that.
Okay. Yeah,
we don't have it either here, and I'm in New York, and New York is considered a pretty liberal state, and we don't have that kind of stuff. And there's friends of mine who live in Florida, and they get stuff delivered to their house from Total Wine, and I'm that's great.
Yeah.
I would love that.
Oh yeah,
that'd be
Florida's good for that. I remember one of my friends went to college down there, and even then, I was just like, y'all can do what? So I know that I can't remember, but a few of so GBH has Good Beer Hunting has this chat that we just keep up with each other, and they have a few of them have been able to get beer delivered to them. So I thought that I was like one of the only who couldn't get it. So I'm glad to hear I'm not alone in that.
Yeah.
That would be really nice, though.
It's a mixed bag, though, for sure. But yeah, so now it's absolutely time for a sponsor.
Oh, okay.
Bring it.
All right. So
We warned you, but we still surprised you, right?
okay. So like I said, I offer copywriting services, so website content, blogs, newsletters, also press releases. If you need any of that work done, I know right now it's tough. I get it. So whenever you're able to dedicate money to marketing, I'm your girl. I can speak beer. I know how to speak directly to audiences. If you have your brand voice already developed, I am really good at tailoring my writing to whatever your brand voice is. And I can offer some great tips on how you can really connect with your audience, both as a beer lover and then also a writer who understands the written word, and also as a journalist knowing like what kind of stories publications look for to to promote your brewery. So those are, I would say that's how I'm uniquely qualified for this kind of work.
And you like again. Let me jump in a little bit too. Like
Yeah.
what I don't think people understand is that like you by doing the job that you do, you let them not have to worry about this. Like
Right.
and again, I said it before, but it cannot be stressed enough about with the founders in the world and all these different. We were talking to Brandon Montgomery last night, and he was talking about how they came out with a Martin Luther King themed. What was it, like a beer thing, and then they came out with black IPAs matter, and it was a mess. And
yeah,
again, these can be the differences between making it and breaking it.
Yeah.
So I don't, so again, I just feel that like, especially, again, being around all the brewers, sometimes they just don't get the value in all this.
Yeah. How many tone deaf things have we seen come out? Like that one thing where somebody put out a beer that was like COVID-19, and I'm like,
yes,
no, no, that's not okay. That's not okay.
And
we
were just like, it's never really okay. It's not going to be okay after. It wasn't okay before. It's clearly during now. It's just not right. So,
it's not.
No. So, excellent stuff. Fantastic. I know this is, and obviously as a small business owner, this is a tough time, for you.
Yeah.
Too, everybody's going through it, and again, you're a person who works for small businesses, so I can just see how that that's probably crippling too.
Yeah, I would say so I also work like a full 9 to 5. This is my side hustle. And so I'm also a contractor there though. And I have this, basically if I get sick, I don't get paid. Yeah. And it's been difficult because I have to negotiate like with my job, and we're working from home now. But a few weeks ago when everyone was kind of blowing everything off, and I was like, no, this is going to be bad. So can I please work from home so I can keep myself safe? And y'all mentioned grocery store earlier before we went live. And yeah, so I went to the grocery store today, and I had a conversation with my husband beforehand, and I was like, hey, so I don't know what the next couple of weeks are going to look like with this whole thing. I said, but I think we should get enough groceries for 2 weeks so we don't have to go to the grocery store, because people are going to get sicker and sicker. And then the more we go out of the house, the more at risk we put ourselves. And, let's just stay in the house for a bit. And so he agreed. And I did a lot of maneuvering to get groceries into our house. But I went as soon as the stores opened this morning. and people were already lined up. And it's just kind of crazy trying to maneuver around the grocery store. I mean, it's and trying not to I catch myself holding my breath a lot. It's just, and so one thing about me, I love writing, I love beer, I love cooking. Those are my things. I like going to the grocery store because I'm going in my head, excited about what I'm about to cook. And it's been so anxiety inducing going to the grocery store.
Yes, it has.
Yeah. Please share your
I was gonna say, Doug.
So I went today because so basically it's a weekly thing for us, is we're going to try to limit as much as possible getting out of the house. The problem is we have 4 kids, so planning for more than a week is challenging. Now, to be fair, 2 of our kids are staying because this is the second marriage for my wife and I. So my sons are staying with their mom because that's where their school is. They're doing online schooling. It makes sense for them to stay put. But still, we still have 2 teens, and the problem is when you're home, you have that whole, I'm home, I'm bored, what am I doing? And then you snack, and then there's a million, and it's hard to not do the boredom snacking. I had a mask on and gloves. I looked like I was ready for surgery. And I walked in. The problem is I just had a mask that I used when I was we had popcorn ceilings in our house. So I was so I was just using those things that you strap around your ears.
Yeah. We have some of those.
So you don't get the dust in your mouth.
Yeah.
So I feel like everything's coming in the side and and the best part of it is I'm walking in. So I got the gloves for I use when I was staining wood or something like that. So I have hands.
So assisting the theme, all your home improvement projects.
I'm shitty at home improvements, but I like trying to do them. So I go in, and it's funny. There's some people are doing the best. Some people have scarves. Some people are doing whatever they can. Right? Mask, put a scarf on. Great. At least it's something. You're making an effort. But then some of those people didn't have gloves. Other people had gloves, didn't have masks. And then there's people who are just fuck it. And they're walking in, and they give you the most disdainful look for
right.
They were ugh. And I was like, dude, you're
really?
It's always guys.
Oh yeah.
And it's always them just giving you this freaking almost sneer, you dummy. I'm like, yeah, I'm a dummy. You're the one walking around in a pandemic with no protection on, you dope. So,
my God.
So I went and I went to we have a butcher that's near here. That's a small business. So I went and spent
butcher.
And I wanted to get a brisket because I've never made a brisket. So, and I'm like, well, I'm freaking home. I can do a brisket.
Yes.
Might as well.
25
You might
hours.
as well.
Yeah. So
did you get the huge big brisket?
Yeah, they didn't have anything small. It's me, my wife, and right now my daughter's actually at her father's, but she'll be back Sunday, so I'll probably make it then. But so I got this 9-pound brisket. It's freaking big, and I was like, I've never made a brisket, so this is going to be awesome.
Oh yeah, that's going to be fun. My husband really got into smoking last year, I guess. And that's the dream. We've gotten smaller briskets, but he wants that really big one. But he's like, I'm not gonna get that one until I perfect it. And I'm like, okay, whatever you do. Are you gonna make brisket or not?
But now the thing is, I've never made a brisket, and I have a $70 freaking brisket that I got. And I'm like, I'm gonna make that, and if I fuck it up, I'm gonna be so mad at myself.
Oh well, I will loan my husband's knowledge out to you. So if you want to talk offline. If you need some tips, he'll help you.
I have a buddy of mine who used to do barbecuing competitions. And he had one of those freaking Lang trailers that he could hook to his car and take to competitions, and that's crazy. But hey, any port in a storm, man, I'll take any advice.
Yeah.
So it's intense though. Going to the grocery store. I mean, you said up here's Wegmans, and I took Greg here. They have a pretty decent beer selection, but what's funny is that section nobody is in.
Really?
I was surprised. I was really expecting to just be a lot of people fuck, I got to stock up on beer, and it was I ran into 2 people in that section, and that was it. And they were both very good about keeping distance.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was.
So
Intense.
So real quick, my experience was my last one was Monday. I go on Mondays at 6 a.m. and I live out in the I live out in the burbs of the burbs almost. I'm almost in like really farmland. So when I go in closer to the city, it's a smaller. You guys are going to bigger places. This is a fact. But when I get there though, it's open. No one's there. And I don't know about you guys, but they designate the first 2 hours for for senior citizen stuff. So I don't know. I get in there. There's 6 people, and 2 people get the distancing. The rest of them don't care. Don't look at you. They don't act. They act like they don't know what's going on. And I'm just like, I came here at 6 a.m. and I'm like, I thought my odds were good. And my last Monday was the first time I had a mask. Before that, I didn't. I feel a lot better with a mask, so I'll tell you that right now. I'm more like, all right, I just need to do what I need to do. I guess I'm a little bit more. See, I think that's the problem with them saying you need to wear masks, because I think people, and I even fell into it. You get a little bit more reckless. Like you think you can be like, I was more cautious when I didn't have a mask. How about that?
The key is though, the key is you can't just be like, I got to get everything right now, because that's when you.
Yes.
And it's hard because you're like, I'm in this space and I feel like germs are bombarding me from every angle. So you're like.
But were people distancing when you guys went today? Were they?
Mostly.
Yeah. But when you're going down an aisle and you're trying to get past someone, like, it's just,
right.
What are you going to do? And then you got that lady who is going, but then she stops to look up at the sign. It's just, it's just like people are cognizant of the fact that they need to keep their space, but they're also still doing that dumb grocery store stuff that they do on a regular day. Sorry, I love going to the grocery store, but people in the grocery store irritate me. So I always go like early in the morning on Saturday when no one's in there. I do not go grocery shopping on Sundays. Like, it's just, I lose my mind, and I don't want to say I have a temper, but I don't like
come out. Right. No. I think we all have that though. There are people who don't have tempers, but if you put them in a certain situation, it's a melting pot or a boiling pot. You know what I mean? We all have like our different like ones. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Mine is the lady that wants to write checks at the.
Oh yes.
And
she asks us like, "What's the date?"
It's really bad for me. Like, bad actually, because I'm like, it's usually older people, and it's just me being an impatient asshole. That's all it really is.
That's what. Yeah, you're like, well, I'm just an asshole, so I know I'm wrong for feeling this way, but I'm mad. Get out of my way. Like, go away, please.
Right. What's interesting is like, because how we used to shop before would be like, all right, I'm in and out. I go and I get my stuff, and I know, and blah 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 blah. And it's like a speed race, not a speed race, but you're like, I'm getting through here, and so I can get the hell out.
Yes.
And the big thing is just being able to slow down and go, all right, there's people in a line. There was one thing where my wife and I decided we would make Reubens. We saw it on freaking Food Network. We're like, we're making Reubens. So tomorrow we're going to make Reubens, but I had to get sauerkraut. Now the thing is, the sauerkraut is in the section for Passover. So there was a lady sitting there, and she was just kind of scouting the whole Passover section. And initially I was kind of annoyed, and then I was like, yeah, but she's getting stuff for her holiday.
Yeah.
I need to calm my ass down and wait, and it'll be fine.
Yeah.
But I think I''ve always been that type. Like when I shop, I love grocery shopping like you. I love grocery shopping.
Right.
But it is like, it just, you have to put yourself kind of in a back seat a little bit and be like, all right, we'll get through this.
Yeah. I see someone commented about the arrows on the aisle floors. They started putting like signs on the floors, like stand here, and they've spaced them out. Same. And today I noticed they had like a almost, I want to say bullet, like a plastic shield where the cashiers are, which I'm like, oh, thank God. Because I kept wondering, like, I mean, I even felt just uncomfortable because I'm like, this person is seeing all of these people in this area, and they're at a higher chance of catching this, and we're like right here, like,
Mhm.
and so
they do the whole thing where they stop you and say, "I got to spray the belt first before you get through."
Oh no!
They did that at my place where they were like, "Stop right there," and then they went and they sprayed the belt, and the belt.
Wow!
They swiped the whole thing. So yeah.
Wow!
And again, you want to talk about frontline workers? A lot of these checkout people are older, senior citizens, and this is their second job and stuff like that. So again, they're not only frontline, they are, the top people
at risk.
At risk, absolutely. Yeah. So it's just absolutely. I mean, it's just crazy.
Yeah.
But the grocery store. It's just amazing how it's just turned into this thing again, like we said, something that you really love. I used to do I would go to the grocery store 2 or 3 times a week. Like
me too.
Right.
Days where I do it like 4 days in a row because we'd be like, "Well, we having dinner. I don't know. Let's do this." And then I'd stop on my way home because the grocery store is right on my way home.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
I'm not driving to work like you. I'm working from home. I'm fortunate that both my wife and I can work from home. Mm-hmm. My wife works from home all the time. But, my company was like, everybody stay home until this calms down. So I've been pretty lucky.
That's good.
Yeah, but that whole normal thing, ugh.
Does it get there? There's not a place, in my opinion, that it's complete antithesis of social distancing is the fucking supermarket. Like, it's the complete opposite of
You're right.
You know what I mean? So we're just doing our best. We all just need to do our best. The aisles are thin. They point you to different places. They steer you. Like you come into bigger places, and you can literally tell how they steer you and stuff. Like to different So this is not for social distancing. It's for getting people together and making them buy stuff. So this whole transition is just another crazy transition that we're going through. I hope that this is a question for you, Steph, too. I hope that what I hope out of the pandemic is, and I think, to me, I'm always that guy that looks for the silver lining, and there's always a silver lining. And I hope one of the silver linings is that as a society, we're going to wash our fucking hands more, and we're going to be definitely better about people's spaces too. Give me some fucking space.
Okay, so yes. The amount of people who were upset about having to wash their hands was like. It was like, what? What you mean? You don't want to watch that? And then the space thing, because I have an issue with that, with people getting in my personal space.
Right.
And honestly, I feel like this whole situation is going to leave me, it's going to ruin me in 2 ways. One, my personal space has gotten much wider. Please step away from me. Now it's gonna be not intimate at all. Go over there, please. I don't need you in my space. And then I am already such a homebody, and being in the beer industry, and it's so social, right? It's so very social. But I really just want to stay at home and drink beer. But I've made I told myself, this year I'm going to get out there more. I'm going to start taking more of these invites. I'm not going to flake on people as much as I did in the past. And now I don't have anywhere to go, and I'm loving it. I don't know if I'll be able to get back out there. I tried to make an effort this year, and now it's
now you're getting rewarded for your homebodiness.
Yes, I am.
And then there's people like me who's a giant extrovert, and I'm just going out of my skull, sitting in the house all day.
I know. I don't know. I don't even understand how that feels.
Well, it's funny because my wife's an extroverted introvert, if that makes sense. When she's out, she can deal, she can do. But after a while, peopling takes its toll, and she needs to kind of recharge.
Peopling.
And I'm not that person. I can do peopling all day. And
I love it.
No, I love that. Yeah, I love that peopling. I mean, that's it. I would say I'm like your wife. I do, once I'm out, I'm enjoying myself. I have a beer and I'm vibing with people, having a good time. Mm-hmm. And then, I mean, because Greg, when we met, we just immediately was hey, just started talking, Yeah. So I think I'm outgoing. I can pretend like I'm extrovert, but inside I'm I just want to be by myself.
I would have never thought that about you, but I think as I get older, I think that's what I'm coming to, and I'm with you. Like I went into 2020 saying I need to go out more, especially locally. You guys know I do my beer trips and my conventions and all that, and it's cool. But like, ask anyone who's around me in Madison, they don't see me at all these events that I always click on Facebook. I'm maybe. You know what I mean? And that's just because I want to know about that shit. But then like the day shows up and I'm like, fuck that.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, yes, because you're a Capricorn too. Our birthdays are right next to each other. That's why my friend told me, she said, every time you're like, I don't want to go, you're always like, I don't want to go. And then I go because I feel obligated, right? And then I'm like, oh my God, I had so much fun. And she's like, what's wrong with you?
So true. So one of the things.
What did you just pour?
Me?
Yeah, you, Steph.
Oh yes. This is the Sanguine. It's Belgian Pale Ale from Halfway Crooks. It's pretty solid. Like they do really well balanced beers. This one's really herby. You see the head is already gone, but
well, you poured it a bit ago, so
yeah. But it's pretty good.
No, we haven't had many Belgians on, man. We gotta pick that up.
Not Belgian IPAs, no. We've had some Belgians. I'm a big Belgian beer fan.
I love Belgians.
Not recently. We need to work on that.
I think
bringing it.
Yeah, I think Steph has another Belgian coming up with a triple. Yeah, baby.
So Steph, is that your thing, Belgians, or?
So I love all of the Children of the Rainbow. My favorites are porters and stouts. But I would say I am a seasonal drinker. So when it starts warming up, I do start gravitating into lighter things.
Sure.
I love, like, if outside of Imperial Stout, I love Belgian beers. I mean, that was when I said like my gateway beer was Allagash White. Like there's just something about it that I don't know, but I love all of them.
Yeah.
Some more than others.
So, how do you deal with how does an introvert I don't want to
say extroverted or introvert.
Yeah.
Are you? So let me ask the question before I even get there. So are you an introvert or outrovert? What do you consider yourself?
I consider myself an introvert who can masquerade as an extrovert.
Yep.
Yeah. I think a lot of people assume. There. Yeah. What is that?
That's nice and
dark. What is that? What kind of, is that a cat?
Yeah.
I love it.
Hello, baby.
Let me pull up this crazy ass brewery. They got one of the best. I know Doug loves their artwork.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do good at the artwork. Actually, I need to find out who they do their artwork through, because
that 80s themed one that I had when we had Mario on, that was fantastic. That suppose it's space.
Oh,
yeah, Carbon Force. So we had Mario on, who is the brand manager there, a couple weeks back. Yeah, this is one of their.
Yeah. See, I love when like this brewery feels like they have a strong identity, like they know who they are.
They have a strong identity. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And they do pretty. Yeah. So here's some of their.
Oh yeah, I love this.
Oh, look at him! Diet starts tomorrow.
That's a great name.
I never saw. Oh, I've had that beer. I don't remember that logo though.
Champagne Tortoise. That's a great.
Tokyo Sana. Yeah.
There he goes.
Oh, before we get there, you've had this though. Didn't you have this one done?
That's the one you gave me, Night Call.
Yeah,
that was excellent. I mean, we talked when we were on here. We talked about Alaskan was the one that made the smoked porter that everybody always. Yeah. I thought that was better than Alaskan smoked porter. So,
how is the hazelnut in that? Because I feel like I've had a lot of beers with hazelnut, and they're just too
hazelnutty,
oily.
Why I like this beer is because it's balanced.
Okay.
Hazelnut is It's strong on the nose, and it's there's a strong aftertaste. It kind of, but with mixing with the chocolate, it almost feels like you ever when you go when you go to a coffee place and they have that hazelnut creamer.
Mm-hmm.
This
Okay.
this tastes like that hazelnut coffee. Creamer. It's a little creamier. I don't think they put any lactose in it. It tastes a little creamy to me. Maybe it's the hazelnut, but
Mm-hmm.
this stout is it's balanced. It's not boozy at all. I don't taste any booze.
Yeah, it's only.
5%.
I say it's only 5%. I guess some people might. I don't know. I think 5% is like middle of the road, right?
Yeah,
I think it's almost low for especially
for a stout. Yeah, for a
Yeah.
stout. At least the kind of stouts I drink. So yeah.
Yeah, same.
Hazelnut absolutely comes through in this. It's strong. If you like Nutella, you would love this
Mhm.
beer. It's
Okay.
pretty. It's
Oh yeah, that's Nutella. Yeah, I get it.
Nutella. Yep.
Burp.
2 times. So before we get to somebody's next beer, I was going to say before I lose my thought is
Mhm.
so how do you let's talk about Fresh Fest Beer Fest.
Oh yeah. That was good last year.
Yeah, that was fun. Are we going to be able to do that this year?
I feel like the entire 2020 has gotten canceled. So I don't know, man. And there's a lot of things, like even outside of beer, that I was expecting to do this year for the first time. I mean, not Fresh Fest, but we were going to the Roots picnic that got moved into August.
Like the Roots, the band?
Yeah.
Look at that.
My husband's been wanting to go for like 10 years, and we were going to go for the first time.
Wow.
And so now we can't.
So yeah. We'll all go in 2021. How about that?
Yeah, exactly. There's also this, I think it's called Savor. It's a beer dinner in DC. You know about it? Yeah. I was like, you know what? I said, I'm going this year. I don't care what happens. I'm gonna go. And
boy, you brought the ruckus down with that. Oh, I don't care what happens. Oh yeah, watch this.
Yeah, because I think something happened last year. I think like my mother-in-law was coming into town, and I was like, I'll stay here. And I was like, no, I'm going this year. No, I'm not going because I'm sure they're not going to have it now. I don't know, and I mean, I don't know what's going to happen with Fresh Fest. It's a ways out.
Yeah, well, Greg was like, man, you got to go, and I was like, I'd love to because we've been talking a lot about diversity and having to have more diverse voices on here because, before I trimmed all my beard off, I had a beard like this.
You set the stereotype.
Yeah, and I was like, I kept saying I look like every IPA drinker you've ever seen, and but it was like I want to go and I want to support different voices because it's not just fucking white guys. There's a million voices, a million different people here. And, it's like something supporting, like Greg has a brewery near him named Giant Jones, and they have a trans brewer. I think that's fucking awesome. And I want to support folks. I want just to be able to support everybody who wants to be involved. So like, Chris was like, hey, let's go. And I was like, fucking yeah, I can do that. And it's like a 6-hour drive. So it's an easy drive for me.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, all this came, and I was like, man, that's gonna get fucking canceled, and I'm gonna be sad.
We still got an Airbnb though. Just relax.
Yeah,
we do, but we can cancel in July. But I don't know. We'll see. I'm hopeful because again, Fresh Fest would be the perfect thing at the perfect time if you could work.
Oh yeah, amazing. For sure.
It's already amazing. It would be like another level for me.
Yeah.
And they're making a block party if it's there, which is like when they said that when you told me that, Greg, I was like,
it kind of blew my mind because
I'm completely in. So.
It blew my mind because I love. Excuse me. I absolutely loved, and Stephanie, we can talk about this a little bit. I love the venue. I thought the venue was fan-fucking-tastic. So I was a little bit like, don't change my venue, but like I trust them, so I'm cool.
Let me tell you, when the sun set that day, it just like. I mean, I just love, I would say I'm an amateur photographer, so I love that golden hour. Mm-hmm. I was just like looking at everyone and you know, everyone's like drunk and having a good time and all these beautiful people. And I was just like, this place, this is so dope. Oh, I just loved it. I just loved it. So yeah.
So Steph, real quick too. Let's tell Doug about to me, Fresh Fest, obviously the fest was amazing, but the bottle share was
Oh
me,
yeah, it was packed.
it was packed, but like that was more about Fresh Fest for me than anything else. And
Mm-hmm.
it was just like that was really like the time where you connected with people,
Oh
where
yeah.
you talked to people, like you really saw like the human in them. We were all
Yes.
together. Everything like dropped as far as like, you know, politics and social issues and all that shit just was like evaporated, and people just like looked and just loved each other, and we just like
Yeah.
had that time. I can't really explain it. Maybe you can explain it better than me because I'm stumbling on my words. But we.
No, I mean, well, the whole time you're saying that, I'm like agreeing with everything you're saying, but also it's like not social distancing though. Not. I mean, we were in a basement and it was just packed. Like it was just packed. The lights were low. You get in there, like I remember walking in and then like someone recognizing me. I think it was like Tio from Crowns and Hops. And then he's just like, hey, you have any beer? And I'm like, no. And he's like, gives me beer. And I'm like, okay. And then like I make sure my husband gets his. And like it's just like everywhere you turn, there's someone to say hi to or someone to like make friends with. And then just everyone's just like, hey, have you tried this? Have you tried this? Like everyone's just like so free, and you could just feel everyone's passion with like sharing the beer. And it was beautiful. It was
And
beautiful.
you went. I'm really specifically talking about the second one. You went to the second one too, right?
Mm-mm.
Okay. There was a second one.
Never mind. We're gonna shoot.
Yeah, I didn't go to the second one.
I'm not gonna tell you how awesome that was.
I went to the one the day before.
Yeah, but there was there was a one. So that was a Fresh Fest put one on, but then there was another one too.
Oh no,
those two combined.
I missed that one.
Oh, and you ain't this time.
We'll make sure that happens.
Cool. No, seriously. I don't know. It was my first time, so I got an invite. I didn't know who was getting it. You know how this goes when you're at these conventions.
No.
But, there was a second
no
one.
lost feelings over here because
there was a second one with I mean, I'm pretty sure Afro Beer Chick was there. I mean, it was a lot of people there, and it was just like it was a more low key.
I think I know what you're talking about. I saw the pictures later.
Yeah, and there were pictures, and then people started streaming, and it was just like again between the both of them, it was just like again, you're right. It was kind of the first one was too hot. We got
it was packed,
and it was like packed and hot. But once people started realizing we could hang out in the patio, it kind of got a little bit cooler, and then we hung out, and I was going back and forth and seeing people, and then it kind of thinned out. And that's when it got really enjoyable, in my opinion. Because you could like at least talk to people and you could hear people. But when the first crush was kind of like,
that hearing people would be a problem for me. So
same.
Right. Well, no, I have partial deafness, so it's like places where there's like a shit ton of background noise. I'm a mess. Like I just nod my head a lot and drink because that's like really literally what I can do.
So I have that same issue. Maybe I should because I'm serious. Like I do not like talking in crowded places because people will start talking to me and I'm like, oh God, was I supposed to hear them? Yeah. Was I supposed to hear what they said?
Right.
I just gave up. I mean, like for the last 5 years, I'm like, I can't hear you. I'm sorry.
Hey man, can I get to my third one?
Yeah. What is that? So that's not an IPA.
No, this is a mocha stout. So this is from Springdale, which is in Massachusetts. So this is with apparently Donut Shop Coffee.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what does it say at the bottom?
Donut Shop Blend. So I don't know.
Okay.
So Paris says coffee, chocolate, and beer, all our favorite things combined in Brig. This dark and decadent delight is infused with locally roasted coffee, cacao nibs, and lactose for layers upon layers of flavors. So let's see if their description is correct.
Yeah. I see I feel like you're ending it. I mean, you had like a coffee sandwich. You had the coffee IPA.
Well, I love coffee, so Throw it all
Hey,
together.
nothing wrong with that.
A coffee sandwich. Look at that. That's a new word we got.
Look at that. Look at that.
It drinks.
Oh, I feel like I could smell it from here.
I like the glass. The glass is cool.
Yeah.
This is Duvel glass that I got at Omegang.
Yes.
Love
Yes.
it.
Yes.
Have you ever had any Omegang beers, Steph?
I have. I'm trying to think of what I've had.
Because they're a Belgian brewery. They're owned by Duvel. So they make a boatload of Belgian beers, and they're all excellent. And it's about 70 miles from my house.
Ooh.
So, I get all their stuff.
Nice.
So what are we getting there?
So off the nose, lots of coffee flavors right off the nose. Very little chocolate. So they were just talking about not getting, maybe a little lactose smell, but not much. Okay, so the coffee is like, that's the main element you get out of it. But it's very smooth. Like sometimes when you get the coffee in it, it's like that just overtakes it. And if you're not blending it well, it kind of makes it like, oh, I'm drinking coffee with beer. Like there's a difference when you blend it well. And this is blended really well. You get the nice silky finish of the lactose. I'm not getting any chocolate out of it, but that's okay. Like I don't need that. It's a very smooth drinking stout. It's 6.8%. So yeah, I think it's super drinkable. Like that's the thing is you can have the problem is that it's super drinkable and it's 7%.
Yeah, that is a problem.
like on a cooler day, it's like I'm pretty sure it's probably fairly warm where you are, stuff, but here it was like windy and like 40 degrees. So perfect stout weather. So this is really, really, really good. I would I think this is good.
That's good. I had I'm looking at my Untapped. Ooh. I think I have a double from them in the fridge now that I've been like trying to find the right moment for. I feel like that double will pair well with food, so I'm trying to figure out what I want to eat with it. Oh,
the Omegang or Springdale?
The Omegang.
Yeah, they're doubles. Like I said, they're doubles and triples, and they make a quad called Three Philosophers. That if you can find that,
yes, I've had that one.
Three Philosophers is an excellent quad, superbly done.
Cheers.
Second best quad I've ever had.
Boom.
I've had the best quad I've ever had was actually on the show, Greg. It was the Castile chocolate quad that I had.
Ooh.
Doug, check the private message. I sent you a message.
Yeah. And yes, you can, Greg, please, since you're louding it out.
Well, I don't have to say anything.
No, you can. Please go ahead.
Okay,
because I'm generally reticent to take praise. So, but
I'm not going to praise you. I just want you to talk about it.
Okay. So I'm also a writer, Steph.
Okay.
And
so you guys can relate there.
Yes.
We've had a few guests on our show who talked very glowingly about things I wrote, which was very nice of them.
Nice.
But I am a person that is not very good at taking compliments. So I wrote something that was basically about, so my mentality is that I'm a fixer. If something's wrong, my thing is like, all right, so my wife is an introvert and she's super stressed about all of it. When I went out to go shopping, she was just stressed because I was going out to shop.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not, she's right to be stressed. But to me, it's like, all right, well, I can't fix that. I can't make it better. I can't do this whole thing where like, all right, I'm going to make it so that you don't have to worry. I can't fix that. I can't fix it for my kids. Like it's for someone like me, that's a very hard space to be in. And, it's not any harder than someone who is worried about every single time we go outside that we're like resetting the clock, like, that whole sort of mindset. And so I wrote that. And so there's a group that Greg and I are part of, it's a dad bloggers group too, that is just about, guys who are their dads, and they're talking about fatherhood in a lot of different ways. And there's just the rainbow of ideas of people and how their parents, how they deal with it, like what's going on with them. Like everybody has different stories. The stories are fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
And every week there's a group, and they do a thing called Porch Light Posts, where all right, here's things wrote. Here's the things we thought were just great for this week, and mine was picked for this week, and I thought that was pretty cool. But I don't know how different people deal with this, but for me, it was just the idea of like, I can't fix this. How do I make things so everybody feels okay?
Yeah.
I can't make that happen. And that's like, I don't know. It makes me feel useless, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that definitely makes sense. Yeah.
Something lighter.
Yeah.
No, yeah, like with all of this going on, like I wanted to dive, like this year I plan on diving deep into like finding like clients for breweries to work with and all of that. But it's kind of hard to reach out to someone when they're going through a lot of stuff. So I had to put a lot of that stuff on the hold.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of like, what does that mean for the future? Like, what does this year look like? What, like my goals for this year, like what do I do with those now? How do I like pivot? And so like I wrote a Instagram post, I think yesterday I posted it, and it was, kind of talking about like trying to live my best quarantine life, but also dealing with a lot of other stuff. And I mean, at the end of the day, it's kind of like focusing on what you can control and just kind of leaving the rest. And it's because I understand that fixing mentality, because I'm like that too. If my friends come to me with something, I'm like, okay, well, this is what you need to do. But I'm trying to get myself out of that, because it's like, I mean, your anxiety can just take over. I mean, at least that's what will happen for me. And it's just one day at a time, control what you can control.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's what I have to keep telling myself.
One day at a time. Cheers to that.
Yep. Cheers.
So somebody's not somebody, but our friend Daniel Fish is streaming about Westerly and Saint Bernardus. Saint
Artist.
Thank you. Because I'm about to be corrected by our crowd over here.
Yeah, I apparently said what is it? Duval wrong?
Duval, but Duval. I said Duval, and he said it's Duval. Duval.
Hey, I'm from the South. We say all kinds. I'm Black and I'm from the South. We say all kinds of things wrong. So I'm not going to even.
Hey man, so
I appreciate I want to know how to say it correctly, but I mean,
yeah.
So
so I'm a Jacksonville Jaguars fan for football, which is
sorry to hear that.
To be.
Yeah.
But they're in Duval County, and they do a whole cheer. It's like Duval, and I have that in my brain every time I pronounce Duval.
Yeah,
like, Duval. So I keep fucking it up. But
yeah. Cheers to that.
Yeah.
Doug, this is the. You want to scroll down, buddy?
Yeah. So this is the piece that I wrote. It's
Ooh, Scott Flee yours. I like that.
Yeah, so this is something I wrote. It's not very.
Show.
What's that?
I said Doug drinks scotch, just not on our show.
Ooh, I like it.
Hey, I've done that one time. I had 3 different scotches.
Little jab of my co-host.
I feel like these are good scotch days, though. I'm more of a bourbon girl, but hey, I won't turn down some scotch either.
Yeah.
So there's your piece, Doug.
Yeah. Yeah,
I'm gonna give that a read.
It's a short read because it's not a lot to say other than the idea that like I can't fix shit. So yeah. I'm a wordy guy, so it's short, but it's verbose all at the same time. So
love it.
Well, cheers. So do we get through everybody's beer?
Oh wait, you have one more. You have to share your triple.
Yeah, I have one more.
Because I want to hear what you think of it, because I know what I think of that one. You
Okay.
you don't have to finish it to get to the next one. You could.
Right.
I don't only have this one glass though.
We generally have a cachet of glasses when we're done. So
I was gonna say, where is your hubby there to take some of these off of you? like Jill does this for Doug sometimes, for sure.
I got
Jill would
that.
be like, "Give me that." Jill would love this. I think Jill would love
I
this.
wish
the one that you had, Greg?
The Nutella. I think Joe would like this Nutella. Is she a hazelnut fan?
Yeah, she would like that. She likes
She would
Nutella.
love this. Yeah, I got to try to get some to your way then. Actually, this is I like this one. I remember having it in the tap room. So this is a good one. I mean, you can see where I'm at with all this.
I like how Steph took a drink from like a gallon jug of water.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
flask, baby.
See?
Here's mine. Mine's a freaking glass.
You need to step your game up.
You're fancy. I'm freaking.
We are in rough times right now. I would have loved your water glasses filled with scotch, and you're like, "This is my this is my chaser."
Mm-hmm. Mm.
I don't know if I've had
that one. And it's a quad.
Triple.
Oh, it's a triple. Okay, it looks like a triple. Yeah.
So I don't know if you can see the one from Tom Walters in the group where he's drinking the Cigar City Margarita Gosa. I had that.
Oh, that's so good.
Good one. That's a good one. He's in Florida, so that's like perfect because it's like 80 degrees down there.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has to remind us.
Yeah, you fucker.
Fucking Walters. Jesus.
I let this get too more.
Don't ask Walters about
North
Sugar Shack. Don't ask Walters about North Sugar Shack. We're not going to go there.
Steph, have you had that one before, the triple?
So my husband is usually the one to tell me if I've had something or not. I want to say I probably have, but I don't remember. And I'm looking at this, and it's like passion fruit and honey, and I don't think I taste that at all.
No, they'd say that, and I've never tasted that in that beer ever.
I taste like cloves, like you usually taste in triples.
Yeah.
This foam is getting in my way. I'm gonna have to do something really unladylike.
A mustache.
Tom did the slip and slide yesterday.
Oh, you shithead! Shut up.
Hey. It was 67 in Wisconsin today, so I ain't bitching.
Woo!
But I don't really want to go out.
Definitely 9%. Lord help me.
Yeah, we can do the polar bear swim here still.
Oh Lord, I
ain't trying to go out, so it can rain for all concerned. It can rain from now to August. I don't give a fuck.
Are you okay? Are you going through something? Do you need to talk?
No, my wife just came downstairs, so I'm sharing the brig with her.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, we're not on post production yet. Just for warning.
I understand. I'm staying out in the.
Yeah, she only comes on for post production. So
again, she should be on the show, but I don't have time for that. So Steph, what are we getting out of that triple again?
Yeah.
Cloves. Like I taste a lot of cloves, but I do think I tasted a little bit of honey, but it's boozy.
Do you get any of the banana flavors out of it? Like, sometimes with the triples, you should get clove and banana as the flavors out of it.
Mm-hmm. You would hope, or most, for sure.
To me, it's like, and maybe because it's gotten really warm, I say it's cloves and then booze. The booze hits me so hard, like it's.
Right.
Right.
Right. I'm like, okay.
All right.
It's just a lot. I think that if it were colder, I think it would go, like the booze would not be as
pronounced.
Yes.
Because
what's the ABV on that one? Because I cannot
9 point.
Yeah, it's gonna be
and triples.
I love triples. Like you know.
Triple is one of those high ABV ones that I actually want really cold and crisp. Maybe I'm wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's been sitting out for an hour, so maybe that's why it's not quite.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna stick this back in the fridge and see if I
Throw
can
it in
cool
the freezer
it down.
for 10 minutes and it'd be great.
Yeah.
And I'm not a I'm not a big fan of cloves and banana, so that's probably why I think if you probably let it like get open and warm up, you probably taste those banana and cloves more, and that's why I probably like my triples more because I like them, but I need that shit to be muted. I like bananas, but I don't want it too much,
Yeah.
Whereas
Yeah.
I don't mind that. Like I don't, if it's a little warm and you get those flavors out, for me that works. But like everybody needs to, if you have a triple and you prefer like really super cold, then drink it the way you want.
I just need it. I don't need it super cold. Like if I had it
Yeah,
we're
probably be more muted. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Steph, Doug and I always say time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah, it's an hour 20 in. Jesus.
Yeah.
Right.
That,
so one of the things we do here before we wrap up is we like to regroup our beers and talk about which ones we like.
Which ones?
Okay.
So where are you at with your beers? What did you like the most, and what did you not prefer? I'm pretty sure the triple is we'll see.
Okay. I will say this. I like the order I went in. I am actually surprised at the
Me too.
Sasuga. Like I really wish I could taste the difference between this old bottle and one that was within range, but I liked it. It was fine. And I think this was a good start. And then the Sanguine, I think it is. Just like it's so herbal. I think this would be really good with like a roast chicken with rosemary. That's just when I was drinking it, I was like, oh man, like a piece of chicken with, and maybe in a pan sauce to put. Man, that's the entire time I'm drinking this. I'm just like, this is a good beer to eat with chicken, and I do a really good roast chicken. So I was like, that would be good. This is going to be good after I put it in the fridge, maybe 10 minutes. I'm going to go curl up with my husband, get a little buzzed. This is that kind of beer. This is let's curl up on the couch. We're going to watch this new episode of Harley Quinn and laugh the rest of the night away. Like that's what this beer is. So I wouldn't say I had a bad one. Each one has their own, like its own purpose.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, cheers.
Yeah.
And so Steph, one thing that Doug and I haven't talked about this on the side, but one thing that I have, talked to the people when we talk to live is that I kind of want to have you back on once the pandemic's over to say, hey, we're back in business and I'm here to help you and let's work on this. So
yeah,
I hope we can get you back maybe in the fall or I don't know, maybe early next year if that's what it takes.
Yeah.
Everything. And you can tell us about how you're rebooting and what you're seeing as far as the breweries and who's coming back and who survived. And I think we have to go through all that because I'm not assuming everybody's going to make it to the other side, let alone be people or businesses. I'm sorry.
No, I mean, I think that's realistic. I think it's realistic.
So I hope you come back.
Yeah, I would love to be back.
With your presence and telling us your story and making our show better and all that.
Yeah, we appreciate you being on.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I've enjoyed my time talking to y'all. Yeah, this has been great.
Thanks, Steph. We'll see you soon.
All right. Bye, guys.
Cheers.
Cheers.
So, what's up? What are your initial thoughts about Steph and all that?
Steph was awesome, and I really think we got to have her on again. I adore her. She's great.
Absolutely. So, let's clean up some comments here before we hit the road. But so I made this is Tom again. Come on, Greg. Nora was the most memorable people you ever met. We should have Tom on to talk about. Tom, you want to come on? We should have Tom on to talk about Nora's Sugar Shack. It's interesting. It's not like Tiger messish, but it's kind of a mess actually.
Yeah.
I don't know. Did you ever hear this story?
No, I have not.
Oh, I gotta tell you. Anyway, so we got the
off camera.
Oh, we should have the whole crew that went on that trip. We had a bunch of guys that went. Our friend Brock's one of them. We went to North Sugar Shack, and it was this. It's just a story. So anyway, I usually don't associate banana with triple. Maybe a little bit more too spicy.
Yeah, Bob Polino, but like I really, really do. That's actually a kind of a standard that I always associate as the clove and the banana. But
yeah,
but that's the thing. Everybody's palate is kind of different. So like some people might not. I just do. But and I've had so yeah. But there is. I mean, not that there's not truth to this, but there is truth to the fruitiness leading towards, again, some citrusy. But it can be. Yeah, I believe it can. It depends on the triple. Some people will not be more banana-y. Some will be more citrusy. I mean, it just depends on how they're made.
So Daniel says, yes, bring Steph back. I mean, how can you not? She's fantastic. So anyway, you first, buddy?
Yeah, sure. So if I am going to rank, I'm going to say there's a very clear number one. The other two are 2A and 2B. So I'm going to say these two are basically tied. The 1966 Coffee IPA and the Brig Mocha Stout. Both really good. Like this surprised me because like it was so hoppy on the nose and it was hoppy in the flavor and then it went into coffee at the end, which I thought was a really nice tail end. It was not overpowering. If you like IPAs, I'm going to tell you just trying this with the coffee end of it. If you like coffee as well, coffee's really smooth on the end. This was it was good. It was really solid, really good mocha stout, but like the coffee was in there too. Then it was a coffee sandwich. These are the bread. As Steph said, the coffee sandwich. So, yeah.
Real quick, I had the Steve Austin one. Solid IPA. Really leans more towards the session. Approachable, unlike Steve Austin in the ring. Not aggressive. I wanted to be aggressive because again, Steve Austin's aggressive guy, but not so much. But it was good. Number 2 was Nutella. It's fantastic. Again, approachable hazelnut. If you like Nutella, you love this. And I don't know, it's kind of unfair for me to have any other beer besides this one in my rank because this is one of my favorites ever. HHG. What's HHG? Horseshoes and hand grenades. What's horseshoes and hand grenades?
Oh, I was wondering what that was.
Horseshoes and hand grenades is a local. They're a local band. Oh,
that was my number 1, by the way.
Did I cut you off?
That's okay. It was vanilla.
No. So the answer is yes. I cut you off.
Yeah, that's okay. But that was the winner for me. So, ta-da! Man,
anyway,
it's been an hour and a half. We've been drinking beer and having fun. So
yeah, but like Doug, one of the things that I always preach to my kids is about like being patient and not cutting people off. And what the fuck do I do here?
Like, this is the first time you go easy on yourself, dude. Relax.
But listen, they're in another room and they can't hear that hypocrisy. But it just happened. Anywho, this is my favorite. This is one of my favorite beers. Pretty much, I wouldn't say ever, but I love it. HHG, Horseshoes and Hand Grenades. They're a band that Central Waters loves. And this is a beer that I love. And Doug, I will see you on Tuesday. We have, and I don't have a banner, but we have Mr. Owen Ogletree, who is
awesome. His resume is fucking impressive.
He's got a resume. Yeah.
I can't wait.
So I'll see you on Tuesday. Tomorrow night we're gonna have another Zoom. Not tonight. Tomorrow night we'll have another Zoom. I got to recover from last night's Zoom thing.
Yeah, last night's Zoom was long, man.
Yeah, and I drank like 17,000 beers. It felt
yes, you did. You were like, I'm gonna go to the fridge, and I'm like, Jesus, dude, calm down.
Right. Some comments as we get out of here. Yep.
All right.
Stone had a car. Yeah, I think I might have had that one actually. But yeah. So
I don't think I had that one. So, but like, yeah.
hand grenades. All right, Doug.
All
See
right,
you
man.
Tuesday with Owen.
Later.
Next week. Oh.
Oh yeah, Rod J, man, bring him on. This is gonna be great. He was
I
so much
forget, we
fun.
have to do all this.
This is the thing. We have repeat guests that I am just freaking super happy to have on, and this is gonna be great because he's got a boatload of beer knowledge and he's fun as hell.
Rod J, to me, what stands out about him is the way he describes beers.
Yeah,
Like, he describes beers like you're like, yeah, dude. Like I know exactly what you're drinking. Like I'm on a sofa. Like he almost went where like Steph went, which is Steph is like, I'm gonna go cool this triple down and hang out. I'm gonna snuggle with my husband, and it's just one of those kind of beers. And I'm like, Rod J's like that. He puts you in that like that zone that like this is a beer. So I can't wait to talk to him. We need to do the sign off, Doug. It's always fun. Today was funner. Yeah, cheers.
Cheers, folks.
And everybody stay safe. Stay close to your family. Stay away from other people. Yeah, all that.
And
cheers.
For those that can't, that have to go to work, hey, we're all here for you. And, doing all you,
especially to our essential people, and not only nurses and doctors, but we talked about today, supermarket clerks,
workers, like gas station people, like those
Uber,
they're doing
Uber, bus drivers. I mean, it goes on and on about the people who are underpaid police officers, fire people. It just goes on and on. We could be here all day, but at least we were able to shout out the ones that we feel are closest to us. So at liquor store people too.
Yeah, I was
breweries, there. All that. We could keep going, but we're not. I'm ending this. I'll see you guys soon on Tuesday with Owen.